All right, good afternoon, guys. Let's catch up quickly before we start trading. We've got a couple of minutes before opening, about 20 odd minutes. Let's just quickly see where we are. We're going to focus on the Dow and the NASDAQ. Still, from this morning, we were talking very sideways, really, at resistance as that 61.8 on the yearly high low. Sorry, somebody's sending me a message. How's it, Chris? How's it, everyone? Resistance at that 61.8. Above that, we know we want to belong to the 77, possibly going back to the 50 moving average. But as we said this morning, we can expect quite a bit of resistance here. We broke, pulled back a little bit. So what we want to see is that follow through. Get the stochastic up through 50. It's not a trigger on that stochastic, but generally when we get that stochastic up through 50, at least it gives us that push that we can push towards that 50 moving average. They kind of always talk to each other and get together. Otherwise, the trend is still down on end of week. In the consolidation area there, let's go on to the monthly high low, our daily picture. In consolidation, still not much of a difference from this morning. A little bit of downside, but not too much. We're around that 50 level. In the consolidation, what we want to see is that moving average crossover, and then above 61.8, aiming for 77.89. The trend is still down. If we do get this candle closed by the end of today and it's green, we might get that tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll see next week. Stochastic did a little U-turn around that 50 level. It's in the consolidation area, but it didn't give us that follow through. So that can still happen. If we break 50 moving average to the upside, that stochastic will follow through. And then we want to see it get up above the 61.8. At the moment, as I mentioned, the trend is still down. Our weekly high low, we had a nice trigger there. Day before yesterday, and then again yesterday, all the way to that first target 127, and then came off that. So possibly going back to the 100 level. We did, as we gone sideways, 50 moving average catch up a little bit. It's above that 100 level now. So if you are short below this 127 back to the 100, just watch for that 50 moving average support. I do like it though, and I do think that we can possibly go back to that 50 moving average. What we want to see is this little dotted line or this red line here. It's my 80 level. If we get that follow through down through 80 with a stochastic breaking signal line above 89, we'd so often go back to that 50 moving average. So let's keep an eye out on that as we get into this afternoon sessions. My 9-hour disappeared. So let's go and draw it quickly while we've got a little bit of time. I'm just going to go put it back. I lost yesterday's, but let's go put it in. Just see where we are there. It was only valid for longs because the trend was up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's our high. And those are our lows, little triple bottom there or support level there for a little bit. So let's go hoy this in and just make sure we've got these levels in for when we're trading. We know how strong that is. It has broken the lows, but there was no trigger on the 9-hour because the trend was up according to the moving averages, just saying that no trade at the moment. However, in saying that, these levels are always very strong, very possible we can get to that 77, just not a trigger. So let's just make it pretty, then get it in there. Not going to worry about the labeling too much right now, but I just want to get the levels in perfectly. Yeah. We just have a point of reference for when we do open and we start trading. Get a little consolidation area in there. Very tight range today, but still more than 100 points level to level, or at least 100 points to first target. That is. At the moment, we've got nothing there. It's just really support and resistance that we're looking at. Hourly ABCs, we know that that's done. It's done its thing. 5 minute. See where we are here. No change to our daily high low. Still very sideways. We've had no triggers on this system at all today. We're still looking for longs above 100. We're still looking for shorts below 38.2. However, on 5 minutes, the trend is down. I'm favoring the downside. We'll just watch for the possibility of a little double bottom at the lows of the day. Look how we perfectly respected that 61.8 and then bounced off. The orange line we can see there, this or yellow, is that 61.8 to the yearly high low. strong resistance, and that's where we've been parking all day. We could see that weekly candle just sitting there. Trend is down. Opening ranges we'll get to in a little bit. Brand new opening ranges, but this morning's opening ranges went all the way to target levels. It wasn't a great range, at least not the way we used to it the last couple of weeks, but those have all reached targets. Also on the US tech, not much of a change. It's been very, very sideways after the news last night. So resistance at that 38.2. If we get into consolidation, so often we can go to the other side. Otherwise, we still have this target level outstanding at the 11. That can still go there. We've still got today and tomorrow left with this current candle. Stochastic suggesting the trend is down. It's below the consolidation area, and when it's below consolidation area, we generally trade below the 50 moving average. Trend is down. End of day. Not much of a change. Look at that small candle. However, we do have openings, so that can all change. But very tiny candle there, testing that 38.2. We've just broken it, so our resistance should move to that 38, our support to the 23. That can change. We're just hovering around that. Got no setups here. As I mentioned this morning, if we can break the highs of yesterday, at least aim for the 50, but so often we can get to the other side of the consolidation. Look at this. 1, 2, and then we broke up and then pulled back without breaking that high after we closed yesterday. So for me, break of that, at least aiming for 50 level, 50 moving average. Doesn't look like much from there, but from the highs to the 50 moving average, 150 odd points. That is not a bad move on the NASDAQ. Stochastic hovering around that 38.2. We want to see a nice clear break up through the 50 and then follow through up through the 61.8. Let's see if we're going to get a similar story on the Dow, if we're going to get a moving average crossover in the next couple of days, or if we're going to start coming off again and then aiming for the 127. We've reached these lower targets, so nothing for us to aim for here unless we break the 0 and then aim for that 127. Weekly high-low, we did get that trigger short. I think we triggered short. Let me just zoom in, or getting very close to it at least. No, didn't trigger short just yet. We got that candle closed previous hour. That was a 2 o'clock candle closed. So break of the short, break of the lows of today, trigger short, aiming for the 61.8. That's valid until the end of tomorrow. Let's see if that's going to happen. Otherwise, if it holds, we still got target levels outstanding here for that. As I said earlier on, or this morning, I do like to see a target level reached once we get a trigger long above the 100 so that we don't tend to overtrade this, otherwise wait for the 77 and then go. However, because we went more than halfway and we had those double top levels there, for me, that's a valid trigger short, aiming for that 61.8. We're going to be very aware of that 50 moving average. Stochastic also breaking down through that signal line. The 80 is holding for now, hasn't broken down through that. So if that can go back to the 50 moving average. We're going to watch that. Daily high-low, very similar to the Dow. We've got nothing yet. Trend is down in 5 minutes. However, we've got no trigger. Still longs above 100, short below the 38.2. Let's keep an eye on that. Otherwise, we'll trade the stochastic. Signal line is below. Stochastic up through 50. Follow through up to 61.8. We want to trade that for a stochastic trigger, but the trend is down. So 5-minute trend, Dow 5-minute trend, NASDAQ is down. Let's go and look at our 1-minute setups and see where we are. Now, don't be a Reno. I got caught this morning a little bit because I forgot to cancel my buy stops. So let's try and make a habit of it, because we're trading these buy and sell stops more often now, of just after a session making sure that we've closed those buy and sell stops. I mean, they can really come and pick us up and then go horribly against us. So rather have them out of the system, and then when we trade again, we can always put them back in.
Yeah, I saw a nice little trick there. If you press that, where you go to that little button where you go to your account history and you press on trade on the bottom left corner, all your open buy stops and sell stops will be there, and it's easier to delete them there, and then you know everything is deleted.
100%. So what Jan's talking about, there it is. You can see I've got an open one there. See, I'm taking pain there. And we can just close it from there. So after every session, just make a habit out of closing those trades. Otherwise, you'll get caught the way I did. You see, there we go. Jean did that on Tuesday, took a 400 Rand knock. Let's make a habit of that. In fact, I've got a stick paper in front of me right now that says, close your open buy and sell orders. All right, so let's not get caught. Let's move on. Let's just see where we are on the 5-minute grid. That has moved. That is not the position. I'm going to move that out the way just so that we can pull that back in a little bit later. 5-minute grid hasn't moved on the Dow. It's still a very big range there. We're between the 89 and the 77. The 5-minute grid on the NASDAQ did move. So from the highs of last night to the lows of today, that's our 5-minute grid currently. We can see on the 50 stochastic, there we hit 0 and we got moving average crossover confirming that. That would have been the low at that stage. And then we broke there. Look at the little bit of divergence here on the stochastic 5-minute. So higher lows, lower lows, and then higher lows and lower lows there. So a bit of divergence on the 5-minute stochastic on the NASDAQ. So that just trails until we get a confirmation once again of that moving average crossover. Let's quickly catch up on our grids. On the Dow, our 1-minute grid is trailing from the high to the low. And I think, yeah, 100%. We haven't made a new high. So it's from the highs of this morning to the lows, our current lows, and we're trading between the 23 and the 11 on that 1-minute grid. On the NASDAQ 1-minute grid, same story. From the highs to the current low, we're trading there. Moving averages have crossed, so that grid is confirmed. Aiming for the 23 level there. I've got a little take profit in there for that trade. Aiming for that 23. Above that, we can aim for the 38. Moving average crossover has confirmed that grid, so we can trade it level for level. We must just be aware that we do have opening in the next couple of minutes. On our extension fibs, there's a new little extension fib here on the Dow earlier on. Just going to extend that so we can see it. But the range is very tight. I've got no buy stop in 61 to 77. We did get an 89% or 77, 89% retracement of this move. Let's turn it around so that it's the right way around. Between a 77 and 89% retracement, so possible little A, B for C up. However, 38 to 23, as I said, only gives us 7 points. I'm not putting in a buy stop for that. The range is just too tight. But that is about that extension fib. And on the NASDAQ, I think that's going to move as well. Looks like it did, yeah, that one that picked me up. But we had a nice extension fib, 61 to 50. Didn't quite pan out. So break of that 77, I will jump out of that. But in fact, what we must do now is move that extension fib. And again, it just makes our range so much tighter. Remember now, today's ranges have been extremely tight due to that news last night. So that's our valid extension fib. And again, 38 to 50 is just not worth it range-wise for us to take that trade. Stochastic down to 50 would be a valid trigger for a short. We've got 10 minutes for opening. Let's see what that does. There's the Dow just starting to get that stochastic up through 50. 50 moving average is only about 8 or 9 points away from where we are right now. As I say, possible A, B for C up. I'm just sitting it out for just now. We're very, very sideways. Possible little separation there on the NASDAQ, although so against the direction of the 5-minute trend. 5-minute trend on both markets down, 1-minute trend on both on the Dow down, but on the NASDAQ it is up. So the Dow qualifies for a trend chaser. However, I'm not going to take that right now. I don't have any target levels to aim for. Sorry, I want to just move all this across so I can keep an eye on this. I do have Tian supporting me. On the bigger time frames, I always like to just keep it on the left-hand side just to see where we are. Come on. Let's open this up a little bit. There we go. All right, and we've got 7 minutes to go for opening. A little bit consolidated on both markets, down much more than the NASDAQ right now. And those ranges are a little bit tight. I still got that NASDAQ trade open there. And you can just see how sideways we've gone. It looks like I'm miles away from my entry. I'm literally like 6 or 7 points away from that entry. So it just shows you how tight it is at the moment. We're above the 50 moving average here. And when that trade triggered, really the aim was pretty much to go for that 89 zone moving average. We can just see how that has caught up rapidly as we've gone sideways. There's that little separation. So it's not valid as a trade for me because the 5-minute trend is still down. However, if we can get that to push up nicely, up through a break, that 33 stochastic pushing up through the 89, we should go and see that 89 zone moving average at least. The Dow is still struggling. Just want to get this 9-hour on my screen as well on the left. Okay, let's see if it's going to push. As I said, my expectation is at least to see that 89 zone moving average. If we get the separation, which is in play right now, you can see how it's rejecting that level. 23 of the 1-minute grid as well. Really what I'm aiming for. Look at that long tail, long week. When I say long, it's really not that long because we're so sideways. This extension fib on the NASDAQ, we just keep trailing. The range is still not good enough. 38 to 50 only gives me 5 points. But there's the possibility of stochastic down through 50 on that. What we got? 4 minutes to go for open. So that separation, let's try again. Ideally, what I want to see now is that stochastic, the 50 stochastic on my right-hand side here to push above that 89. 5 minutes is setting up there. We want to see stochastic up through 50. and break 50 moving average. By then I would have hit TP, but I'm aiming really for that 23 target level, or the 23 level on the grid. Stochastic up through 50 on the Dow. Signal line is below 50. However, as I said, that range is just too tight at the moment. We just do sideways. You see how the NASDAQ is struggling to get the follow through on the stochastic. So I want to see that, as I said, above the 89. Okay, it's the last minute before opening. Let's see what it's going to do. Often if the 1529 candle is red, the opening candle is green, the same on the hourly. It's just an observation we've made over time. And again, yesterday we were talking to the guys busy with the 3 days. On the hourly, when the last minute before the hourly candle is red, the next candle is generally green, and vice versa. Not always, but as an observation, that is quite often the story. Okay, there the Dow is starting to push down. If you've got your sell stop in there, just watch for support on the 11 of the 1 minute grid. And there's our opening candle. Okay, so just before we got that candle, that 1529 candle turned green. Let's see what this candle is going to do. Dow pushing up a bit. Yeah, NASDAQ still struggling with that 89 zone moving average now. Support on the 50. Line in the sand with this one. The break of the lows as a trigger a short on the weekly high low. So watch that 77. Perfect 77% retracement for now. Just the stochastic trigger as well. Again, doing opposite things there. So Dow pushes up, NASDAQ is pulling down. Yeah, I'm getting ready to get out of this trade. Just watch for the possibility of a double bottom. That's broken. Okay. out of that. 1 minute grid's going to keep trailing here. And our extension fib, we're going to move to the side. That's done its thing. We cannot trail it from the highs because we didn't get it close above the 89 on the 50. Now, same story. You're just going to move it out the way. Okay, now starting to push up nicely. Watch 50 moving average support. 5. As we keep trailing as well.
We did trigger short on USD weekly high low below 100.
Thanks, Diane. Yeah, 100%. As I said, if we break those lows, that is a trigger short. We're turning around at this opening. A little bit wild. Let's give it the next 1 minute or 2 minutes to see what is going to happen. Still watching the NASDAQ, that 50 stochastic on the 5 minutes. Okay, we're starting to push nicely there now. 1, 2. Need some time before we can start looking at this extension fib. Okay, they're starting to talk to each other, the two markets. Generally does that much quicker today than we've seen in the last few days. There's still no extension fibs. These red lines we'll just ignore because that was the previous opening range highs and lows. I mean, previous opening range target levels. I'm just going to trail that. Stochastic down to 50 on the NASDAQ, trigger for a short. Down, also now. Starting to move. Just going to get this buy stop out the way for now.
Looks like USD is finding support at the 77 of the daily high low. That's also 38.2 of the monthly high low.
Thanks, Jan. Yeah, 50 moving average 5 as well, coming up there. Watch it stochastic down through 50 for a trigger short. We've got a new 5-minute candle. We're going to start getting a little extension fib going, yeah. On the down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles now. One, 2, 3, 4 candles. Not quite valid yet, but we're going to start trailing it. There's the stochastic down through 50. Still not a great range just yet there on the NASDAQ. They're looking a little bit better. Watch that stochastic down through 50 on the Dow that has triggered. I'm going to give it a little bit of space. $50 moving average coming up as support there on the Dow. So a little observation that Chris made for us is once we've got a range of 90 points plus between 0 and 100 on extension fib, it does mean we've got enough space for our buy and sell stops. On the NASDAQ, we can see we're not there yet. The Dow, we do have enough, but I didn't have enough candles there to go for that trigger. So that's the casting wants to try again for push down through 50. 50 moving average from 5 is holding. Both markets 5-minute trend is down. Both markets 1-minute trend is up. And now we're going to keep trailing this little extension fib. I'm going to get a little trend line in here. 61% retracement. $38 to $50 is good enough for a trade. Just about 11 points. NASDAQ, we're going to keep trailing. That's still not good enough for a range. I watch the casting down to 50. If it triggers, my sell stop will pick up on the Dow. $50 moving average on 5 is support now on the Dow and resistance on the NASDAQ.
Yeah, it looks like Dow is finding some resistance at that 77 of daily high and low. We are also currently back above the 100 of the weekly high low in USD.
Thanks, Dion.
Sure.
Hasn't picked me up just yet. Watch for moving average cross on 5 minutes on the Dow. We need this 5 minute.
Buying that.
NASDAQ, we've got that crossover already. That's confirmed. Just want to see if that's the right. Yeah, 8 above 21. Though it can still pull back. About 38.2 is holding. 50 moving average 5. Sure, 38 to 50 is just under 10 points. Not going to take it because look at where our 50 moving average is there on the NASDAQ. There the Dow's already hit. Took my sell and hit take profit. I didn't put that NASDAQ in 9 points, but it has to be 10 or more. You can just have it poked it and pulled back. And as I said, 50 moving average in the way. We can start looking at possibility of buy stops now. So trend chaser on the NASDAQ, but we need a 2-candle retracement. Two minutes for the next 5-minute candle. Both markets playing around 50 moving average on 5. Down a little bit above that. Break the highs, we should see the 89. We are 89 on 5-minute griddies. Again, we're going to keep trailing this. Get some stories in here. One, two, that qualifies. Buy stop. Possibility of low double top. Let's pick me up. Just push that down to 5. Okay, that NASDAQ, you take profit. That's a new 5-minute candle. So on the Dow, we're going to start looking at the same story. Moving averages have crossed. So possibility of a sell below the 38 back to the 50. Otherwise, 2-candle retracement. Once we make a high, we can start looking at a short. Same here on the NASDAQ. Sure, pushing out. We've got enough range here now for that sell. Around 9 minutes to go for opening ranges. Let's just move this out of the way. We get a little story going here. Watch for those sell stops we picked up, also stochastic down through 50 for shorts. Or 2 candle retracement, we can put our buy orders in for trend chasers. $50 level of our 5-minute grid on the NASDAQ holding, as well as the 1 minute. I think those are pretty much the same place, very close. And we've got not quite yet a trend chaser here. We need this candle to close. Green line approaching, opening price of the day there on the NAS. There we go. Those two qualify now. So watch just slightly above this high. 89 is 155 zone moving average on 5 minute.
On the Dow, we should also watch out for that 50 of the monthly high low. That seems to be resistance, and just above that, the 89 of the daily high low. On US Tech, that high is also very close to the 38.2 of yearly high low. We are about 13 points away from that high of US Tech. Just watch out.
Awesome. Next, yeah. Watch our stochastic triggers. Okay, my buyer's been picked up, my sell stops been picked up on the NASDAQ. Support coming up 155. Here's a new candle. Trend is up. Just stochastic follow through. It's also that 77 and the 77 daily high low 50 moving average is holding us right now for 5. There we go. If you TP on that, watch for the buy. Stop on the Dow. Break for the highs. NASDAQ is still valid, so I'm leaving it where it is. Make sure I've got a point. Slightly up. Yeah, absolutely. It was much better now. I mean, it's been a horrible morning. The Dow is pushing. Just gonna get this out the way. I'm just going to keep moving these lines out the way for now. Also approaching opening price there on the Dow, still a little bit of a distance, 50, 60 points or so to go. And we have got 4 minutes for opening range. Still got my sell in on the NASDAQ, on the Dow. Not taking the 38 to 50 again on the NASDAQ unless we break the highs and then come off. NASDAQ's finding resistance at the 89 zone moving average, slightly above that 155. Also the possibility of a little double top there, 2 minutes for opening range. And on the hourly, it's just the 50 level of the 9 hour that's holding us in the down. Watch the stochastic down to 50 again. 5-minute trends up, so separations are valid. One-minute trends are up, buy stops are valid. Last minute before opening range, but be careful that these are not the possible highs of our opening range. So watch for trend line support. I just want to put one in here as well.
I will post the opening ranges now.
Thanks, Tian. I'll just grab your levels. Watch that possible double top on the NASDAQ. I know already that this is my high on the Dow. Has picked me up, so I get 5 points in here. That's also the high of my opening range on the NASDAQ. Okay, if you TP on that, I get my ranges in quickly. NASDAQ, we can keep trading these highs. Now we can start looking for a sell below 38.2 again. Let's get it in before I get those ranges. Go, and we can watch the possibility of trend chases to the upside as well. If we do get a 2-candle retracement. So I'm going to get my levels in quick. Let's target, yeah. Continue what I do. Take profit. Okay, we keep pushing there. I haven't got any green chases. Possible double top there on the Dow. Look at that 61.8 to the opening range holding. 5-1. Okay, we keep trailing. Now we keep moving. Oh, just about a perfect little double top there on the Dow. Looks like we're approaching opening price on the NASDAQ. At 61.8 is so strong. Okay, that's a little lucky for me. So it was the trend chaser. If you took that, that would have hit. I didn't put one in because I had that little boober of mine in there. Keep trailing down now and keep moving up a sell. Watch that 77% retracement, 100 grid NAS, as well as on the Dow. Keep my levels just in here for the Dow as well. That is my high. 170.
We got a trigger long Dow opening range, but as soon as we triggered, we pulled back a bit. So let's just see how that plays out.
Sure, we can see the support now coming up is at 61.8. We got one candle so far. It hasn't closed. Let's see if we're going to get some trend chases here. That is still pushing up. We're going to keep trailing. I just want to get this in 780. And 688. There you go. Okay, let's keep trading that. Just watch now that 77 is still holding on both markets, that 1 minute grid. That's going to keep trading as well. Let's make a little buy stop here. It's red line, first target opening range. Let's see what we've got from high to there. 9 points, it's a bit tight. And the 89 of the daily high low on both markets. So resistance on the Dow and support on the NASDAQ. Second candle, let's watch the possibility of trend chases.
USDAQ is, we got a candle close above that 100 of the weekly high low, and we broke that high. That's not a trigger long, but that's for me a good indication that we're going back up to that 127. We should also just watch out that 100 of the daily high low approaching.
Yeah, 100%. Still no trend chases that broke the highs. I've got to wait for a 2-candle retracement first. Chris rightly said earlier on opening price, but that's broken on the NASDAQ. We're on first target opening range there already. Let's move this out the way. Trading. %89 retracement to the entire move now on our grids. Look at that opening price on the Dow now as well. Also 89% retracement there. On our 5-minute grid, if we break the 100, the 9-hour would have triggered. So really a break of the 100 the 1-minute grid, that's a trigger long on 9-hour. Trend is up on hourly.
Looks like your stick is battling with that 77 of opening range, that first target.
Yeah. Five-minute stochastic on both above the 89. Arrow stochastic down to 50 on both markets. So sell stops are valid. So let's see, I think we made a new high here on stochastic down. Yeah, that's it, 100. That didn't quite, 99.5. Quite. So moving average cross in the 1 minute on Dow. As mean our grid moves to the highs, which is where our extension fib is. We're going to toss that. Still no sell stops unless this candle closes below the highs. I just want to go measure from high to the 100 of the daily high low. What we've got, about 20 points. That's fine. Let's stop building one so long. Now it's not quite. So it's sort of the same story. That big one, yeah, I think. Does close. Just a new 5-minute candle there. I mean, yeah, they both qualify. I'm going to put it just slightly above the 89, the 1 minute grid here on the Dow. Just give it a little bit more space than 5 points. It's just if we get a bit of slippage and give us a bad price that we don't get screwed over there. It's downside opening range, first target on the NASDAQ is our resistance. We're just kind of playing around there. Break the highest, we still got second target outstanding. Dow still needs to make its way to that first target. Yeah, absolutely. It was NASDAQ's picked me up. Just want to see if I got 5 points here. There we go. Watch for the possibility of double top. Keep trading our extension fib. I was playing around that first target opening range. Yeah, it's holding. Break the swing lows. I've got to get out here. Yeah, whoops, yeah, I was a bit fast there, guys. Sorry. it breaks, I'll take it again. My stop loss should have been breaking the swing low. Okay, and it broke now anyways. Watch the possibility of a little separation. Long. Dow also got that possibility of separation. Resistance at opening price of the day and the Dow support opening price in the NASDAQ. Okay, the Dow's picked me up and hit. I don't know how much I got out of that. That keeps trailing. That keeps trailing. I didn't make anything out of that. In fact, I got a little loss of 8 points. So I got robbed with that. Well, it doesn't matter. Let's watch the candlestick down through 50 on both markets. Trend line support. On NASDAQ, I'm going to move my entry just down a little bit, just so that it's below. Oh, no. Get the wrong one. Say that. There you go. Yeah, moving average crossover. Both of our grids will move. Possibly going back to 50 moving average. One, two, three, four, 5, 6. We'll start looking at a new extension fib on the NASDAQ. On the down, not just yet. Watch that stochastic down through 50. If it triggers, my sell will pick up. Kissing that 50 level. I'm taking the sell stop rather. See if we can get the follow through. It's holding. Give it a little bit of space here so that I don't get robbed again. It hasn't picked me up just yet. Oh, that's valid for a buy stop. Sorry, guys. Let me get it in. Still got some space to the double top levels, and opening range targets are still standing. Give us some space, yeah. Always pull it down. Right, we're also setting up for a separation. So let's see if that's going to give us the follow through there to pick up that order. 38 held so far on the NAS. Stochastic triggering there on the NASDAQ. I'll wait for the sell stop to pick up. 50 moving average is catching up. Camel sell is taken. Watch that 50 moving average. I'm moving this up for 5 points. Stochastic also triggered. If you take profit on that, back to the 61 day opening range there. With this little perfect double top in the Dow holding. Rule is 50% retracement to the move, which is only about from there where it is right now. The extension fib on the NASDAQ has done its thing for there. So we are trailing it from high to low because our 1 minute grid is going to move. So let's just go do that quickly.
Yeah, on USD, just watch out. We are at that 61.8 of daily high low. Oh, no, sorry. I was looking at the wrong chart. It's the 61.8 of opening range, the USD now.
Yeah, absolutely. That's next. Yeah, it's that red line we can see finding support at the 50 moving average. So let's check this range. 38 to 50, 11 points. We can take that. Put it in quickly, see if I'm lost enough.
Just watch out for the 38.2 of the yearly high low, and then just above that, the 89 of the daily high low.
Thanks, man. Very shallow separation on the Dow. NASDAQ is picked up.
We're at that 89 of the daily right now.
Yeah, thanks. That is our resistance. Let's see if we can hit that 50. Also triple top now on the Dow. Buy there hasn't been picked up yet. At 89 is downside strong on the NASDAQ. So close to TP. Trend line in here. Okay, NASDAQ, he take profit there. Oh, Dow picked up. Sorry, I didn't even see that, guys, and that's coming off a bit. Well, we're not about 5 points anyway. We still got opening range target, first target we're aiming for in the Dow. 5-minute trend is up, 1-minute trend is up. NASDAQ, if we get a 77% retracement, we can look at the possibility of A, B, C down, 38 to 23. At 5 minutes for half past candle. See if the Dow, let's try again. Still aiming for this red line, first target opening range. What's the possibility of a little double top? I was just riding that trend line coming from the bottom down, up. It's got a bit of resistance, 61.89 hour also coming up. But if we break that 9-hour trigger, stay pushing a bit. My trend line, I'm looking for that 77% retracement. Watch that on the top. Let's take a still fighting that stochastic. Yeah, we are really struggling at these highs on the Dow.
Sorry, if there's a little gap, can you please explain, Wilhelm sent me a message now, when do we change the extension flip? So you have your Dow extension flip now from the lows to the highs. So when do we change it from the highs to the lows? If you have a gap there, please.
100%. It's a very good question. Well, we're just dealing with it last night with the guys as well. Just watching this trade, I'm not really liking it all this much anymore. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles now, just resisting. Although 5 minutes still keeping me long. Stochastic above 89. We still got opening range targets outstanding there. So I'll get to that question in a bit. Support opening price. No real resistance levels in 5 minutes there. Still outstanding targets to go. Let's see if this little separation will push us now. So how the trend line support becomes resistance. Really, really trying, but struggling so much.
I don't see anything really on the bigger time frames. There's a possibility of a double, almost triple top on the hourly on Dow, but that's still a bit away. We still need to move a bit.
Yeah, it's like about 20 points to go before we get to that, but yes, we are fighting. Let's see if we're going to get a nice little separation, otherwise stochastic down through 50. Again, finding supportive opening price. Look at the sideways. Remember, for half past, hopefully that can just give us a little bit of a push. One, two, three, yes. Just about every candle finding resistance at these highs. NASDAQ's giving us absolutely nothing as well.
Yeah, it's gone very flat. But we are approaching that time.
That is, yeah. Half past candle there. Again, I was hoping for a little bit of a push there. So far, not too much. moving average is catching up rapidly on the Dow.
Yeah, it has been a while since we respected that on the 1 minute.
Yeah, at some stage we will respect that. Whether it catches up or not. Trend is still up on both time frames. On the Dow.
Yeah, even the hourly trends on Dow and US stickers up.
Yeah, for sure.
And we still have those extended targets.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is what's keeping me long. Some stage I will look at a time stop, but the 5 minute is keeping me long. Stochastic's above 89, 5 minute targets outstanding to the upside there. I do have a little bit of a concern around this 100. I don't like trading between 89 and 100 on any grid. And we are trading between 89 and 100 on both 5 and 1 minute grids. Stochastic down through 50 as a trigger for a short. I will take that little short. Oh, it's too late. Okay, I won't. That has triggered on a stochastic.
Also, just watch it. You stick back inside the consolidation area of the opening range.
Absolutely. Let's trail our extension fib there. Level to level now, 52. Yeah, 38 to 50 is valid. Let's put a buy stop in there. Now, respecting the 50, I can just see in the background there. Keep trailing this.
Yeah, Dow also at that 89 level as a level of support of the daily high low.
Absolutely.
Also finding some support of that 11 Zun moving average. You know, as long as we stay above that 11, we want to be long.
Yeah. Okay, there's no more separation here on the Dow for me. Okay, our extension fib can move now on the Dow. So when we're looking at moving at the 18.9, we're looking either at a significant high, otherwise we're looking for a close of the 50 stochastic above the 18.9 level. So we have got that now, and moving averages, once we cross, if we do cross, our 100 grid moves, it's just about in the same place as where it is now. It's so very, very close there to double tops. But we can move that now. So let's move that to the lows. And if we look at that range, we've got about 7 points. So it's not great, it's very tight. I've got my buy in for the NASDAQ. So I'm going to pull that price down a little bit. What's that trend line resistance? I'm going to put one in here as well. Sure. Already it's like quadruple tops there on the Dow. Let's just get rid of it for now. It's such a tight range. So watch our zone moving averages on the Dow. I'm getting ready to get out of this. Okay, broke the lows. I'm out of that long. We can always trade it again. Keep trading this. Let's move myself down. Yeah, that's our double top. 61, that's 9 points. It's not good enough. Breaking the lows, we keep trading our grids, our extension fibs rather. Moving averages have crossed on the 1 minute on the Dow, so our grid does move. As I said, it doesn't make a huge difference. $61 to $50. Let's put it back there. That's not enough. Possibly going back to the 89 zone moving average from the Dow. Broke, closed below 50, broke previous candle low, but it is very sluggish. 9 points now. Both signal lines below the consolidation, stochastic up to 50 valid trigger for a long. I like the NASDAQ a lot more for that. The trend is still up on both markets. Back at the 61.8 of the opening range on the Dow. Watch us stochastic up through 50. $50 on that 61.8. Let's see if we're going to hit that 50 level. It's 9 points. I'm not taking it. But let's see if it's going to hit.
Yeah, that's actually a very good trade because we're coming off the 61.8 of opening range, 89 of daily high low, and 127 of weekly high low as support.
I'll take the stochastic trigger if it does. Okay, we've triggered. So watch that 38.2 now. That's at that 89 of the 1 minute grid. Shit, I didn't see that. Okay, nonetheless, triggered. I like the fact that the 1133 is on top of each other there. NASDAQ, I've still got my buy stop in. Out. Trend lines holding in the NASDAQ. So that stochastic failed once again. See if it can go. Really aiming for that 89 1 minute grid as well as opening price. Break the lows. I have to get out. We're going back to the 89. Okay, I'm out of that trade. Keep trailing. Let's see if that gives us a better range now. It does. NASDAQ as well. It's 11 points here. Trailing. Much better range on both markets now. About 70 minutes before 5 o'clock candle. Watch for that. 50 of the 9-hour support on the Dow, around that 61.8 once again. Opening range. And it's these target levels, 89.77 daily high lows. Very naughty. We've just been up and down through that. Watches the cash back to 50 again. Wait till the break to the 61.8.
Watch it for the 89 of daily high low on Dow.
Yeah, right back to that. And just slightly above that. There's quarter 2 as well. Hasn't picked me up just yet. Very zigzaggy on the stochastic. I've got no sell stops in the 5 minute up on the trend chasers just yet. However, if we look at the NASDAQ, we're getting very close to moving average cross over there. We have to wait to see what this 5 minute candle does.
Watch USD 50 moving average on the 5 support.
Yeah, right on that. Also 38.2, the 5 minute grid. Broken that 89 zone moving average. We keep trailing and keep pulling our buy stop down. $89, the 5 minute grid coming up as resist, our support in the Dow. Let's put this down. Wow, down. That's a 61% retracement to the whole move of the 1 minute and also respected the 50 level of opening range. But only really now starting to get a little bit of VUMA. It's been very sluggish as we're approaching the end of the session. Dow also support 50 moving average.
Yeah, and the 50 of opening ranges.
Yeah.
And the 77 of the daily.
Yeah. There's quite a bit there. We're right back. Orange line, 61.8 of the yearly high low.
Mm.
NASDAQ, we can start looking at the possibility of sell stops once we've got the candle close, this 5-minute candle close, because then the trend will change. There it is. So a 2-candle retracement. If this next candle closes red or below the highs, we can look at that trend chaser. Watch the stochastics up 350, 61 to 50 as well. So give it a little bit of space.
Ten minutes ago to that 5 o'clock candle.
Yeah. Both 5-minute stochastic. Oh. NASDAQ 5-minute stochastic broke the 38.2. Start watching for that sell stop. It is valid. Dow hasn't crossed over just yet. NASDAQ's at the 100 of the weekly high low support, slightly below it. Watch 9-hour support coming up, 38.2, still no trigger long. Short if we break that. The trend on hourly is still up according to the moving averages.